B. Friedlander from Attorneys for Animals. I think you were already able to testify last week. Is that correct? Okay. I don't want to set up debate, back and forth endlessly, but if you've got a couple of minutes that you'd like to speak, I'm willing to give you that, but I don't want to just continuously go back and forth. But come on up and we'll give you a couple of minutes.
Thank you, Chairman Barrett and members of the committee. I'm B. Friedlander, and I represent Attorneys for Animals. A couple of weeks ago, I submitted on behalf of the organization written testimony, which I'm not going to repeat. What I'd like to emphasize here is something that a lot of the testimony is not, and that is the effect of 5916. In our opinion, passing that law would be meaningless for a couple of reasons. First off, the fact that a qualified breeder under the law is one who is licensed by the USDA is a feel-good provision that doesn't have much meaning. A colleague of mine said, if you have a strong stomach, Google USDA licensed breeders, and you'll see some horrific images. So that having that as a standard doesn't really mean anything. Second of all, having the standards regarding having to produce records and rely on records is also meaningless, given the fact that a little over a year ago, and I'm talking about USDA records, those are really not meaningfully available. They used to be easily available on online, but those records were scrubbed. So then to use that law as a way of preempting local authority is not.
Did you have an opportunity to read the substitute that Representative Frederick offered regarding the breeder information that will be made available in an unredacted format?
Well, no, I haven't, because that was just presented. However, what I would say is those records, we want them to be transparent. And before, a consumer could go to the USDA website and get those records. Now, it's unclear whether those records, A, are available, B, are being provided even to the pet shops.
Okay. I believe the substitute...
We don't have, in other words, excuse me, the state doesn't have control over USDA records, whatever the law says.
Right, and but we can require the breeders to make those available to the pet store and then to the prospective purchaser, which is what the substitute provides for. You're right, though, we do not as a state have any authority to compel the USDA to do anything, but we can at least make those records available for the consumer and for the pet store owner in the interest of, animal welfare.
But that relies on the breeder. And we're talking about a qualified breeder can be an out-of-state breeder. And I just, with due respect, I think relying on them to be the ones to provide the records is a wrong-headed move.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you for your testimony.